Mansur Al-Hallaj was a mystic, poet, and Sufi from the Islamic Golden Age, known for his profound spiritual experiences and controversial teachings. He was born in the late 9th century, c. 858 c., into a family involved in cotton carding in Fars, Persia, present-day Iran. His surname Hallaj is derived from the occupation, meaning cotton carder. Hallaj became one of the most celebrated figures in Sufi history, but also faced severe opposition from religious authorities of his time. Mansur Al-Hallaj, a prominent figure among the Sufi mystics, gained renown for his outspoken discussions on truth, unconventional interpretations of scriptures, critique of religious teachings, exploration of the inner self, and advocacy for a path to liberation that challenged religious orthodoxy. Hallaj's teachings, often expressed through his poetic works, reflect a deep yearning for spiritual union with the divine. His emphasis on love and the mystical journey resonated with many Sufis, inspiring them to explore the inner dimensions of scriptures. Hallaj's poetry is rich in symbolism, metaphor, and allegory, conveying the ineffable nature of the divine experience. Prior to attaining enlightenment, Hallaj harbored skepticism toward mysticism during the early stages of his life. However, his perspective shifted when he observed his sister regularly attending a mystic teacher's discourse in town. Fueled by doubt, he decided to follow his sister one night to investigate her activities. Positioned discreetly by a hole in the wall, he clandestinely observed and listened to the mystic teacher for nearly 2 hours until the discourse concluded. This pivotal night marked a profound turning point in Hallaj's life, prompting a complete transformation. Subsequently, he became a disciple to other teachers, furthering his spiritual journey. Hallaj traveled to many places during his life, like Iraq, China, Turkey, India, in places like Gujarat and Punjab, and more than 5 times to Mecca, Saudi Arabia. He learned Arabic during these travels, and became very interested in understanding deeply oneself and mysticism. He met various philosophers, scholars, and mystics in his own country and during his journeys. People knew him well, and everyone liked meeting him, attending his talks, and seeking advice for their spiritual and everyday lives. He provided hope and guided people toward real happiness. Hallaj became well known for his unusual behavior and statements among the people. Once, Hallaj was traveling during Ramadan, the month of fasting, with some students and friends. They came across a group of people with leprosy having lunch and invited them to join. Even though Hallaj was fasting, he ate with them. They were grateful because many people avoided them due to their condition, but Hallaj didn't. When it was time to break his fast a few hours later, his students questioned him because they saw him eat earlier. Hallaj explained that he was invited by God, and he couldn't refuse. He felt happy for breaking his fast, but not breaking anyone's heart and feelings. So, he considered himself still fasting, and then he officially broke his fast now with students. He used to tell people, don't stay hungry by fasting. You don't need to go to the mosque or temple. Just taking a bath won't save you. Salvation comes from reciting the true words of God. Stop following the wrong path, break away from it. Instead, keep drinking the alcohol of God's true words, let it fill you up and make you feel connected to God. Or he would say to people, I saw my Lord with the eye of the heart. I asked, who are you? He replied, you. And when people asked, what is in your turban? He would say, there is nothing wrapped in my turban but God. Al-Hallaj gained widespread popularity, drawing admiration from the public who embraced his teachings. He actively preached to audiences and found warm reception in various gatherings. People, intrigued by his message, traveled from distant locations to listen to him. This created a concern to the government of that time, which was an Abbasid caliph. Notably, Al-Hallaj delved into the significance of the statement, Ana al-Haqq, I am the God, boldly proclaiming this assertion to his listeners. His mystical journey led him to proclaim the concept of al-Haqq, the ultimate truth, asserting a profound unity with God that went beyond conventional religious orthodoxy. Al-Hallaj famously uttered the phrase Ana al-Haqq, I am the ultimate truth or I am the God, which caused considerable controversy. This statement was seen by many as a claim to divinity and led to accusations of heresy. Due to his emphasis on self-discovery, critique of social and religious superstitions, and his explicit proclamation of I am the truth or I am the God, he made a lot of enemies, including both the general public and religious scholars. Consequently, he faced severe consequences. They decided to cut him into pieces in front of everyone. Even while they were doing this terrible thing to him, he kept laughing and saying, I am the God. Firstly, the public suggested, have him stand at a crossroad, and everyone in the city can take turns throwing stones at him. Before each throw, individuals will ask him to stop saying I am God. If he refuses to stop, then they should proceed to throw stones. Al-Hallaj was brought to the crossroad. As part of the torture, they actually peeled off his skin, alive, and buried him up to his waist. An order was given that anyone who passes by that street must throw a stone at him. Where everyone urged him to cease saying I am God and began throwing stones at him. Despite the injuries from the stones, Al-Hallaj continued to chant, I am God. I am God with a smile. Al-Hallaj's dear friend, Shebli, was going that way, and he had to throw something. But he did not have the heart to throw a stone, so he, concerned about public opinion, decided, I won't harm my friend, but I'll throw a flower so that it won't hurt him, and people won't object. With this in mind, Shebli picked a flower and stood silently in front of Al-Hallaj. However, Al-Hallaj implored, Shebli, chant I am God. Reluctantly, Shebli threw the flower, causing Al-Hallaj to burst into tears. Shebli asked, Oh Al-Hallaj, people were throwing stones at you and you were laughing. Did my flower hurt you so much that you started crying? Al-Hallaj replied, Shebli, they knew nothing. They could say anything to me. But you know, on whom am I dying? How did you raise your hand towards me? The master will not forgive you. When they took him to hang him, they first cut his fingers and one hand, but he still smiled. They wondered why he was smiling, and he said, cutting a man's hand is simple, but you show real courage when you can cut away your ego and anger from yourself. Next, they cut his legs and asked him how he felt. He smiled and said, I used to walk on this earth with these legs. But I have other legs that let me travel to places both seen and unseen. After that, he let his own blood flow from his body and placed it on his face and arms. They asked him why he was doing this, and Al-Hallaj answered, I've lost a lot of blood, and my face looks pale because of it. I worry you might think it's because I'm scared, but it's not. So, I put the blood on to hide the paleness caused by the loss of blood. They wondered why he put blood on his arms. Al-Hallaj said, I'm taking ablution to cleanse myself before praying, as a symbol of my love for him. To support us, please subscribe the channel, Rumi Sufi Mystic, and press the like button.